I started Votech in 1970. I was interviewed for that position by a lady named Miss Rarig. Why I remember that, I don't know. I went to, in 1970, that was my junior year, if I recall. It was a morning class, and I learned darkroom technique and what have you. I wanted to be a commercial artist, and as my partner, Scott Ryder, can tell you, that was a joke. Fast forward another year, in 1971, in my senior year, I decided I wanted to go to work versus going to school. And we had a fresh student out of college, Dale McCoy, first year teaching, bless his heart, and he had to deal with the likes of me, and I just basically said, I'm not going to go to school, I'm going to go get a job. And I went and got a job at the Oklahoma Journal newspaper as a paste-up artist. So my senior year, I worked all year, and it was a great experience for me. And Dale McCoy, I actually negotiated. We could use the word manipulated if you wanted to, but I'll say negotiated. And he let me do it, so I'm grateful for that. In 1972, I founded S&S Promotions. I started it when I was 19 years old. I started it in a room about the size of that table with a $100 bill. Everything I had was handmade, hand-built. I had like I say, no capital whatsoever, but I had a desire to build something. So, fast forward 17 years or so, Del McCoy introduces me to a student work, a guy that wants to, in his senior year, is going to come and work in a work program. His name is Scott Ryder, 17 years old, if I recall. Hired him for on-the-job training. Scott's now the president, and him and his team manage projects like Sonic, Domino's. And when I say these things, I mean Sonic 3,500 stores, Domino's 5,000 stores, Arby's regional 600 stores. And then we also do one-off projects too. The thing about Sonic is if you push the red button at Sonic, you're looking at our menu, and we distribute that. I can go on and on about that story. I won't bore you with it, but it's pretty fascinating, and Scott was the architecture behind that, and him and his team drive those accounts and drives that. Now, we also do one-off projects. So anyway, this is a project we did for Mid-First, and the first year we did it, we actually hired people from New York to come in and rappel down the side of this building. And it was quite a project. It had never been done. It's the largest building wrap. It's even larger than the one at the Chesapeake right now. So it's the largest building project ever, or building wrap ever done in Oklahoma. And so that's a one-off project. And it really turned out nice. Now if we can just get them to get through San Antonio and so on. Because we want to keep it up a few more weeks anyway. Right. You know, I'm the type of individual that we want to make sure it stays on the building during F4 tornado. And actually it did the first year. I worry about it blowing across the Northwest Highway and hitting a bus full of nuns or something. So, it had to be over-engineered, and Scott was the one. You think I'm kidding, I'm not. So, that's the video. Okay, now I would like to make a point. I believe if the person has the desire to learn and has the commitment, and they deserve a chance to do it, and I think that's what career tech is. To me, excuse me, to me it's a crime if let there be a waiting list for it. So the program is good. I would ask that all of you be very generous in your donations. It has potential of producing ladies like we just talked about that worked at Tinker. The result is that they can give back to the community. They can build companies. 43 years S&S Promotions has been in business. I'm so fortunate and I'm so grateful that I had a push from a guy named Del McCoy. And that guy introduced me to a guy named Scott Ryder. My father was a priest, Episcopal, so let's qualify. because I mentioned nuns earlier, I don't want to make sure that anyone. He was a priest right down the street here at 63rd and Penn. He had always told me something. You have the right to have everything you earn, nothing more. And it resonates in my head when I think of people that, especially in our society where it's a entitlement society. No one gave us anything at S&S. We have the chance to work. Once again, what Career Tech is about. And he also told me this: if a person has the ability to help someone, it is their duty to do it. And so, remember that on the donation cards, please. I guess that's really about all I have to say. The one thing I would say that keeps me and Scott going a lot is we've embraced change throughout our careers. And a quote I read a long time ago, and we say that it's almost unsaid, but in the place, and I don't know if it was out of a Peter Drucker book or where it was from, I don't know, but the quote is just simply this: if you don't like change, you're going to like irrelevance even less. And so we embrace it. We thank you. We thank Career Tech, VOTEC, the Metro Tech Foundation, whatever you want to call it, and Del McCoy. And thank you very much.